Hello, today's card is going to be a masculine birthday card. It features a plain pulling a banner, and I have found some pattern paper which had clouds on it, and this just seemed perfect to make a card with. The inside of the card is very simple. It just has a saying which says, "Youth is the gift of nature, but age is the work of art," by Garson Cannon. Okay, let me go over the materials that I'll be using for this card today. The stamp sets I'll be using is Sprinkles of Life by Stampin' Up. And this card features the Flyaway stamp set by Papertrey ink. I can't tell if it comes with the die that cuts out the different shapes. Let me move that so you can see better. It's 2 airplanes and a banner with some really cute sentiments. And I'm also going to be using the Fiskars Make-A-Wish sentiments, Make-A-Wish quotes. There's a lot of quotes in here which are really nice for birthdays. I have a card base cut 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. A black mat cut 4 inches by 5 1/4. I have 2 white panels cut 4 inches by 5 1/4. A small blue panel cut 3 3/4 by 2 1/2. The pattern paper, which I mentioned, is cut 3 3/4 by 3. A yellow square, 3 inches. This is a little bit bigger than a square, but that's all you need. A white square, also 3 inches. Some adhesive fun foam. It has adhesive on this side, and you peel the paper back and it sticks. We're going to use that to pop up the plane and the banner. The inks I'm using today is Wild Honey Distressed ink, Versafine Onyx Black, Memento Danube Blue, and London Fog, and Ladybug. I also have distress markers. I didn't go grabbing my Wild Honey distress marker. This is a carved pumpkin, but if you had both, that's fine. You just need an orange one, orange gold, and black soot. I will also be using my Spectrum Noir sparkle pen. Because I'm doing a little bit of ink blending, I have a Ranger's ink blending tool. I have silver ribbon, 1/8 of an inch. This is really pretty. I'm down to the end of the roll, but I found this at a craft store going out of business, and they had all their ribbon for like 10 for $1. So I got quite a few of these, and this is my last one. I'm also using an embossing folder called Cloudy Sky by Darice. It has clouds impressing, and a 2.5 inch circle punch. And that is all the materials that I'm using, other than the standard tape, glue, etc., which you use for all the projects. I'm going to clear this stuff out, and then we'll jump right in. Alright, I have my big shot. You must forgive me, my camera got a little bit confused when I brought in the dark black big shot, and it's thrown the lighting way off, so please forgive the glare. The first thing I'm going to do is put in my multi-purpose platform and open it to tab 1. I'm going to do the embossing first. So you put down one plate. My plates are really cut up and everything, but they still function. And I take my blue paper and put it in the embossing folder. I keep these blue papers in my embossing folder so I can look through it and see what it is easier. And you line it up long way, and try to get it in there straight. when you're embossing, you have the fold of the embossing folder going into the machine first. So I put the embossing folder down and the second plate on top. And because my plates are a little warped, I have to give it a little bit of a squeeze. And you just run it through. Okay. First step. And you get the clouds. I think you can see it. Okay. Set that aside. And now I need to do some die cutting. So I need to change my Big Shot sandwich to all the tabs closed. And the flyaway stamp set comes with a die. And I'm going to die cut all 3 pieces, but I only need the banner and the lower plane, but it's easier just to go through it once. So I'm going to first die cut this out of paper, and then I'm going to die cut the lower 2 out of the fun foam because I'm going to use that to pop it up. So I need my first plate back. Put this in. Don't throw this away once you do this because I'll show you why you'll need it in a second. So just run it through. And there are my die cuts, which are sticking. Come on, you. I'm going to grab my quick stick tool and free this. There we go. Sit them over there for a moment. And this plane I'm not going to use. Don't throw this away. Now I'm going to die cut the fun foam. One plate. And I have to make sure that I'm lining up these 2 instead of not that 2 because that's not the way I need it. And pretty sure I have it all. The dimensions I gave, this is more than is needed, but it's easier to have a little bit more than a little too little. Okay. And there we go. Cuts right through, no problem. And it is adhesive sticky under this paper. So I'll set that aside, and I'm going to move the Big Shot out of the way and clear up and move to the next parts. And now I'm going to stamp the airplane. I'm bringing in my Misty tool. I have already put the airplane stamp on the door where I need it to be, but I'm going to show you how I did that to ensure that I'm going to get an accurate print stamping. What you do is you use the negative space of your paper to help you line up your stamp. And I have the other stamp in the stamp set to show you what I'm talking about. So I'm bringing in the cutout and putting it back in the place where it was. See? Then you take the stamp and you move it around until you're pretty sure that it's going to stamp just where you need it to stamp. So this may take me a second. Okay, that looks good. Now close the door. And you transfer the stamp. Now put that back in place once more. there. And I'm going to stamp this one in blue so you can see it. So I'm inking up the plane with the Danube blue. Close the door. And there we have it. Perfectly aligned where I needed it to be. This little trick works with just about all die cuts. So you don't have to try and keep track of little itty bitty pieces. Just use this trick. Okay, let me clean that off real quick. And I'm going to stamp the banner and the real plane. I'll speed this part up. And there we go. All good. So I set that aside. And now I'm going to put the sentiment onto the banner, and it says happy birthday. Do that in black. Set that aside. Now I'm going to mount the two items on the foam. So you just pull back the adhesive and line them up. Okay, that will do. Now I'm going to do the rest of the stamping. So I need to get my cloud, which I have mounted already, and the London Fog. You know, I think I will punch this first, then stamp it. So I'm taking my 2-inch punch, 2.5-inch punch. There we go. Might as well do the circle while I have it. Okay. I'm stamping one cloud, and I have already made a mask of the cloud by stamping on some plain paper and cutting out the outline of the stamp, because I want to put two clouds and make it appear that there's one behind the other. So I put that there, and now I'm going to stamp right on top of that for the second cloud. So now it looks like one cloud is behind the other. Basic masking. Okay. Now I'm going to bring in a piece of paper and do some blending on the sun to give it a little bit more depth. So I have already put my blending sponge on there, and you just come out from the paper and into it very lightly. Okay, good enough. Finish with that. Wipe my hands real quick. Okay. Now I'm going to tape this and this together. Overlapping about 1/4 of an inch. And I think I need to trim that part. Yes, I didn't trim this. 1 second. Now, that's right. Okay. Now take my combo and put a thin line of glue down this seam. If you put too much, you're going to have a real bad time when you come down with the ribbon. So you just want a really thin bead of it. Adhesive off my fingers. The blue part needs to be trimmed so that the entire piece is 5 inches wide. Ooh, what a mess. Now that's right. Welcome to Lorene's blooper reel card video. There. Now to take this card base, press the seam with my bone folder, and adhere this to this. I'm going to bring in my ATG gun for this. I could have used the ATG gun for the other stuff also, but that was handy. Okay, now take the sun, which this is representing, and take the cloud thing, but I need to take my black soot marker and go around the edge to make it pop up a little bit from the background. Now, pulling this back, I'm going to use this little part here to get this sentiment. Okay, now for this one, bringing in the orange marker and making a little edge of orange. Go slowly so that you don't accidentally mess this part up by shooting marker across your stamping, which I've done many times. And for this, I'm going to pop that up on foam tape. Here's my big wheel. Okay. Now, taking my tape runner and putting tape on the back of the airplane. And then the same thing on the banner. Take my sparkle pen and give a little bit of sparkle to the clouds. It doesn't show up very much on the camera, but it looks really nice. And I'm also going to give a little sparkle to the wind glass of the plane. Stamp my inside sentiment. Usually I do this last in case I make a mistake, but first in case I make a mistake, but this time I've done it last. Made so many boo-boos so far, so it doesn't really matter, but it's all good. Give that a second to dry. And tape it in. Okay, that's the card all finished. It was a rocky road, but I got it in the end. I hope you like this card. I hope you will try it yourself. If you can get your hands on this stamp set or a similar one, it's really, really nice. It's perfect for doing for a little boy or a husband, a boyfriend, whoever that doesn't want a lot of frilly pictures and butterflies and things. Okay, thanks for watching my videos. I appreciate it. If you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel. I try to put out new content pretty frequently. And as always, have a good day and thank you for watching. Take care.